Welcome. In this tutorial, I'm just going to go over the steps that you need to take in order to turn your drawing on paper into a digital illustration. So the first thing that you're going to do is open up Photoshop and you will just load your photo of your drawing, okay? You should see it pop up in your layers dialog box. On the right side. If you don't see layers, go to Window and make sure that layers has been checked. On the left side, you're going to see all of your tools, and yeah, we'll go through that together. But the first thing is you just want to make sure that you understand your workspace. Tools on the left, anytime you're selected on a tool, you should see options that pop up at the top. And then you should see your layers because that's really the main thing that we're going to be working with. So what you will do is you will go to Layer at the top and click New Layer, or you can do a shortcut and just click the plus sign at the bottom of the Layers box. There's a little plus sign to create a new layer. So, of course, like my example here has, I have a few other layers that I've hidden. So you should essentially have your layer of the image, the drawing that you loaded, and then you should have a new layer. So you should have two layers, right? Your new layer, the transparent layer, should be on top of your drawing. We're going to now start tracing over the illustration. So you're just going to use your brush tool for this, really simple, and just go under general brushes at the top. Click on hard round or soft round. It's really up to you what type of brush would suit your drawing and the size as well. So you can adjust the size, make it thick or thin, whatever works for your drawing per se. I've already decided that a 5-pixel brush is the size that I would like just to correlate with my actual drawing. And I am going to make sure I'm selected on black as my foreground color. And I'm going to begin tracing. So I'm starting with the arm over here. And because we're going to be adding in color afterwards, and I wanted to show you a very easy way to drop in color into shapes, just make sure that if you have shapes that don't completely close or connect off to the edge, that you do that. Because if you have spaces, like your shape is not a completely enclosed shape, then the whole coloring process will be a little trickier. So just make sure that all your shapes, like the shape of this arm, I had a space on the edge of the paper there. So all I've done is make sure that I connect those lines to the paper edge, or I should say the canvas edge. So I'm just going over, and you can really use your tracing process to clean up your drawing. If you see that there's, something you could have drawn a little more clearly, use this digital illustration step to kind of clean that up, like make it look better, okay? So I figured out over here, tracing it, oh my gosh, the finger doesn't quite look right. Command Z to go back a step. If you make a mistake, always remember that. And just do whatever you can to clean up your drawing and go very slow. Like notice I really zoomed in here to get the details. Okay, so Command plus to zoom in, Command minus to zoom out. And yeah, it would be very difficult to do the tracing totally zoomed out. Your lines would be probably more shaky. So I'm just continuing to draw out and trace over my drawing. I actually have already completed this. So you can now see my completed tracing, right? And if I hide the other layers, I'm hiding the original layer, and you can see here that Everything has been traced out. You can see that the transparency, right, is what we see here in terms of the background. So that checkered pattern just means that the layer is transparent. So whatever is under it, we can see it, unless it's hidden, which is what we've done right now. We're gonna now add in a new layer that is just a plain white background. So again, you're gonna click on that plus sign, and you are going to make sure that white is the foreground color, so you're going to switch the white and black at the bottom there of the toolbar. And you're going to go to Paint Bucket tool, which is under the gradient tool, and just drop in white and then move that layer under your digital drawing so you can see it, right? So adding that white layer just kind of creates that like white paper feel behind your drawing. Make sure that you have no holes. So right here I can see, I still have a little bit of a gap. Make sure you're on the right color, black, and go all the way to the edge. Great. Okay, so now at this step, I'm ready to start adding in color. What I really like to do as a habit is I like to duplicate layers of my outline, and then I add the color in my other duplicate layer. This is so I can maintain the actual like outline layer as its own thing. If I wanted to explore another color scheme, that I would be able to like have different options all in one document depending on which layer I'm hiding and what I am showing. So just duplicate your outline layer, and then you're going to start adding in color into this duplicate layer with the outline. So because I have skin, skin's a really tough color to do if you haven't colored like lots of different types of skin before and you sort of understand the different mixes. So what I've done is I've actually downloaded a photo of a young woman, or a young girl I should say, and I've loaded up that photo, and I've used the eyedropper tool, which is selected right there, to select the skin color, and it will show up as my foreground color. And now I have, just a skin color that I can drop into that arm, okay? And so I'm using the Paint Bucket tool to drop it in, and as you can see, the Paint Bucket tool will drop it in within a shape. This is why I wanted to make sure everything was enclosed. I can see I have some issues going on here, so I'm using my brush tool to clean it up with the same color, right? So that like skin color I selected from the photo is my foreground color, so I'm just using that same color with my brush tool to kind of add into spots that I need to fix up. I selected a red for the apple, obviously, the iconic red apple. And you can already see here that I've already painted everything in. So I wanted to create a shadow that is like a darker version of the floor surface. And I do have an issue here because when I try to fill in more color, you can kind of see that I have these edges that are not great. It's like you can see like a little bit of like sort of a pixel width of white, which I'm trying to now fix up with my brush tool, because I think that is, it doesn't look great. So I'm just kind of doing a little cleanup, and there is a hole somewhere from my sort of surface of the floor to the background wall, which is still white right now. There's still a hole somewhere, and I can't quite find it, but notice how when I drop more color into the apple, it just goes into the background. So I'm trying to find a way to get the wall background to look good and to have a separation from everything else, because there's a hole. I don't know if it's like a 1 pixel hole, but it's a big enough sort of hole between the shapes to just kind of bleed over into that other shape, and that's definitely what I don't want. So I'm now using the color picker tool. I'm just trying to find a neutral color, and I want to do a gradient for this for the wall behind just to add a little depth. Anytime there's that value shift, it adds a little bit of depth. And my illustration is pretty flat with a single value color, so I'm just gonna try to get the gradient. I decided that because I had that hole in my illustration somewhere, I ended up doing the gradient in the white background. So you can kind of see how I just added in the gradient in the white background. But it works, you know. It's I like that it adds a little bit of atmosphere into my illustration, and that the colors don't take away from like the red of that apple. Um, so yeah, so that is looking good. I think at this point my illustration is finished. And what I want to do actually, because this image is from Snow White, you know, Snow White takes a bite of the apple and is now in like a deep sleep. So I did go onto Google and I found a quote by the witch in the Snow White story, where she's kind of making her plan to get rid of Snow White so she can be the fairest in the land. So I do want to add that quote, and I'm using the text tool for this. It has a big T, and I'm looking for some type of a font style that is traditional, kind of like old looking, and also maybe a little sinister, right? Because like the evil witch is saying all this. So anyway, I'm looking for a font, and we will do a lot more on typefaces coming up real soon. But for now, you know, if there is a phrase, and maybe it's the phrase of your connotative image, you might want to explore it with text and have that included in your illustration. So I just pasted this quote by the witch. When she breaks the tender peel, her breath will still, her blood congeal, and I'll be the fairest in the land. And I feel like, yeah, it just kind of completes the story, and I want to include it. So I'm playing around here with the sizing of the font, and also the boldness, you know, is it big enough? Keep in mind that whenever you add text, it will appear as a new layer, and the name of that layer will be what you type, okay? So you can see that I have a big T layer that's now become a text layer. And I'm just adjusting the size of this text. I went with American typewriter, but I just couldn't really find a font style that was like quite sinister and old-fashioned. I would probably need to look at some online font typeface sort of glossaries and download something unique that I'm not finding right here. So I do want you to think about alignment, okay? So when you put in whatever your quote, think about centering it or like lining it up to the left or the right. Make sure it's the same amount of negative space on the top and bottom. And yeah, and then you're gonna take a screenshot, Command-Shift-4 of your image. And I just also saved it as a PSD file. Which is the standard saving. So PSD is a Photoshop file, and you can save it that way. So that is the entire tutorial. Good luck.